Pastor Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Everyone has heard that cats supposedly have 9 lives. I must be part cat, but by my calculations, I'm on life number 9. For some reason, my wife seems to be fine with that. When I was 8 years old, my older brother and I spent the summer of America's bicentennial skateboarding all over our town. Our family had friends in St. Louis who lived halfway down a long, long steep hill. Perfect for skateboarding thrills. If you're Evel Knievel, not if you're 8 years old. Skateboards were very new back then, and nobody ever thought about wearing pads or a helmet. So of course, on a visit, my brother and I decided to go to the top of the hill and see how fast we could get going. What I remember was crouching down on the skateboard and looking behind me to see that I was being chased by a Volkswagen Bug that was smiling at me like Stephen King's Christine. I narrowly escaped death when I wiped out and went sprawling, with the car swerving around me, my skateboard shooting off down the hill as the car faded into the distance. The driver never even stopped. Now that I have kids, and I have an 8-year-old, I can't imagine what my parents were thinking to let us try that. Maybe they were trying to thin the herd. At age 9, I was in Little League. Our family lived a block from a baseball field. One summer morning, my brother was hitting me ground balls as I stood in shallow right field. One extremely well-hit ball took a bad hop right in front of me. I turned away, and the ball came screaming at my head and struck me squarely on the temple, dropping me to the ground like a sack of bricks. That was the second time my brother ever thought I was dead. And he came running up to check on me, probably wondering how he was going to explain that to Mom and Dad. Fast forward to my high school years, when I was taller, or further from the ground. My sophomore year, I wanted to do 2 things. Go to France my senior year as an exchange student, and someday ride in the Tour de France. Picture Dave Stoller in the movie Breaking Away. Certainement, that was me. When I wasn't in school, I was on my Schwinn riding as fast and as far as I could. One rainy summer afternoon, I turned into a school parking lot, lost control on the wet pavement, and skidded sideways into a guardrail. My feet were in toe clips strapped to the pedals. So while my bike and I went over the guardrail, I did an upside-down 360 as my bike flipped over my head. Okay, maybe it wasn't a complete 360. I'm sure the metal stop sign pole that my head struck prevented a complete revolution. But remember, I'm older, I'm smarter, and I've graduated to wearing a helmet, which did save my life. A woman driving by saw the whole thing, stopped, and loaded me and my bike into her Suburban and drove me home. The next day, I found out I bruised like an apple. But still, I don't think my brother was done trying to kill me. One time, in February, I wanted to impress a new girlfriend. I had tickets for us to see a heavy metal concert. So, I borrowed some very nice-looking black boots from my brother so I could look extra cool. I offer some advice here. When trying to impress a new girlfriend, do not wear unfamiliar boots 2 sizes too big that have taps on the bottoms of the soles, especially during the winter when you know you will be tramping up and down slush-filled concrete stairs in an arena. After we found our seats upstairs, we wanted to go back down and buy souvenir t-shirts. Let me just say, I cleared out an entire flight of stairs. When I fall down a flight of stairs, I do it with style and panache. I hit the first step and proceeded to click loudly down the stairs with my arms flailing, never hitting any other body part except my heels, from one step to the next in a somewhat graceful, semi-controlled free fall. And when I reached the landing and realized that I was still in one piece, I looked behind me to see her at the top of the stairs with her hands near her mouth wearing a horrified expression. Remember, I'm trying to impress her. I waved calmly to her and said, "Come on, let's go!" Best date ever. But the oddest experience, so sad it's morbidly funny, came in 1984. My brother was in the Navy, at home, on leave in South Carolina. One weekend, I went with my parents to Peoria, so I could help my dad and my grandfather reshingle my grandparents' roof. My brother called their house on a Sunday afternoon, weeping and barely able to speak, asking my grandmother to please let him talk to my mom. He had received a phone call from our local police department notifying him that I was dead, hit by a car while riding my bike the night before. My mom told him that I was not dead. I was up on the roof putting on shingles. My brother refused to believe her, so my mom came out of the house, made me come down off the roof so I could go back inside, and personally tell him that, no, I wasn't dead, just sweaty. The dead boy was tragically from my high school, and the faculty knew that I rode my bike more than anybody else in that school. So after viewing an unidentified body that was wearing a hooded sweatshirt, the staff spent hours pouring through yearbooks and finally told the police that it must be me. Armed with that information, I can certainly see why the Keystone cops wouldn't want to remove the hood of the dead boy to see that he had hair a foot longer than I did. Well, his parents are out of town, their house is on vacation hold, we can't reach his parents, let's call his brother 5 states away and break the bad news to him. I believe in karma, instant or otherwise. Looking back, I think the whole incident was universal payback for my brother hitting me in the head with a baseball and letting me borrow his blasted boots.